Some people just will look at this and be like, "Oh man, she's based." Other people were like, oh my god, can you believe what she said?" So Evangelion Ray Ayanami, VA, believes invasive species threaten Japan's cultural identity. Our freedom of expression, like anime, might all be at risk. Now, invasive species could be anything. Obviously, we're not talking about animals here, but it could be tourists, it could be immigrants that they're letting in. I mean, you've seen videos. If you go on Twitter, there's constantly videos showing parts of Japan that don't even look like Japan anymore because they've been taken over by certain groups of people. Um, Now, if we're talking about that, think of, just Japan, just like any other country. Think of it like your home. Think of it like your house. Do you want people suddenly coming into your house and demanding things? What's usually the rule for people's houses when you go in? My house, my rules. You don't get to come to another country, someone else's house, and start making demands and start demanding that everyone subscribe to your way of thinking or your culture, your religion. No, you are a guest in that house. And I'm sure everyone here has had at least, a family gathering or whatever where you've had that one person. Um, is any of this food vegan because I'm a vegan? Or, oh, how about we do this instead because I'm not very fond of doing this? I'm sure we've all had that situation where that one person. Um, and what do you think? You're a guest in this house. You don't get to make demands. So it's the same thing when it comes to tourism or other cultures, other countries coming in. With the tourists, it's like you have these American tourists or from these Western countries, and like, oh my God, this place, they don't have any vegan options. It's like, bitch, you're in Japan, right? Like, fuck. But in the face of what she believes to be a growing indifference when from her fellow citizens when it comes to the idea of respecting their own cultural identity, Japanese voice actor, we'll just say her name rather because she's known for doing much more than Neon Genesis. Megumi Hayashibara is calling on the country's leadership to redirect their political towards their own constituents, their political what? Their political towards, I guess, political power, influence. Hayashibara, who across her storied 30-year voice acting career, has also to life such other brought to life such other anime and video game characters as Lena Inverse in Slayers, Jesse, or really it's not Jesse in Japanese, but for people who are, not Japanese, and Sage and Sonic Frontiers. Um, Offers her thoughts on the current state of her home nation via a post made to her official blog, as hosted by Japanese social media platform Amoeba. In our opening post, as per machine translation provided by ChatGPT, reviewed by the article's author, the voice actor began by admitting that when it came to the current view of Japan, is this really okay? I'm honestly starting to feel really anxious. From there, she proceeded to recall how after I featured a Korean YouTuber, their name withheld by the voice actor, a Korean friend contacted me. They told me that right now in Korea, there's a lot of tension and division between the political left and right. If I make a comment that seems like I suggest support the right, it could hurt the people on the left and vice versa. This is why things shouldn't get political. Anime entertainment shouldn't get political. But of course, even without the entertainment part, it's still going to get political because that's some of these people's personalities. Like they are so bland and boring as people that politics is their entire personality. These are the people you see raging on Twitter like, "Oh my god, I just found out that my parents, who have raised me for 35 years, supported Donald Trump, and I've decided to just cut all ties with them because I don't need that kind of negativity in my life." Um, People like that. You know, people who make politics and sexual identity and their race and all that, they make that their entire personality. Um, so, um, the truth, they scolded me, saying that I could end up fueling unnecessary conflict. That's why you should just talk about your job, your anime stuff, your, you know, job opportunities that have been presented to you lately, and you know, the truth is, by casually featuring someone as an outsider, I could unintentionally hurt people. I know it's a bit late, and maybe I'm just adding fuel to the fire, but if I hurt anyone, I'm truly sorry. Don't apologize. Seriously, don't apologize to anyone. I've removed that part from my content. I can't reach those I've already hurt, but I hope at least no more people will be hurt because of this. Don't apologize. Do never fucking apologize. After addressing the apparent fallout of her from her apparent collaboration with a Korean YouTuber, she turned to offer a slight bit of pushback to her critics, doing so declaring, I know this short message might not get across everything I want to say, but what really breaks my heart is how cold and indifferent Japan seems to be towards itself. How we've become apathetic even about raising our voices. No rice in Japan? She then questioned, referring to the country's ongoing shortage of the grain itself, caused by a triple combo of inflation, poor crop performance, and increased demand due to recent surge of tourists. I mean, Japan's been like a hot spot for tourism. Speaking of invasive species and tourism, I was wondering what Johnny Somali was up to in good old South Korea. Uh, Apparently new excuses coming out from him. And I think he has a court date set in August, so probably unless he does something absolutely stupid, we probably won't hear much about him. But anyway, meanwhile, Japanese students are getting scholarships, which they have to pay back. To put it bluntly, that's debt. To this end, the voice behind Cowboy Bebop's Faye Valentine. This this warped reality connects to the need to stop leaving things to others. We have to go vote. We can't afford to say things like whatever or nothing's going to change. We're already at a point where that kind of attitude won't cut it. If this keeps up, what makes Japan Japan, our manners, behavior, skills, and even our freedom of expression like anime might all be at risk. Turning her attention to the country's aforementioned tourism boom, she then asserted at the same time there are some poorly behaved guests in Airbnb style accommodations, some tourists who don't understand the idea of yielding to others, some who don't even cut down bamboo in Kyoto. Um, oh, some who even cut down. Okay, I thought for some reason I thought who don't. Yeah, okay, so some who even cut down bamboo in Kyoto. Without proper regulation and enforcement, it's seriously dangerous. Just like how Japanese crayfish got wiped out in no time by invasive species, if we don't do something, even our unspoken rule of lining up in order might become a disadvantage. I'm not trying to attack any specific country, but I do believe Japanese tax money should first and foremost be used to support the people who pay those taxes, including foreign residents who pay taxes, of course, and to help disaster-stricken areas in Japan, and support students who are currently holding Japan up. Drawing her thoughts on that matter to a close, she addressed what she ostensibly believed would be the main criticism of her statement, declaring, "What would be considered? Would that be considered xenophobic? And if Japan itself falls apart, we won't even be able to offer hospitality anymore." I mean, Japan is Japan. Like, it's worked for so long, and yet we have people there who are like, "Oh yeah, just let anyone in now." Again, you go over and you see certain parts of Japan that don't look Japanese anymore because there are a certain group of people, and those group of people are demanding that, oh, well, yeah, I came to your country, but you have to give into my culture. You have to give into my way of thinking. Oh, what? You guys serve meat here? Well, that's not acceptable because our culture doesn't do that. It's like, That's not how it works. You're going to someone else's house. Again, my house, my rules. It's kind of like, hey, you come into my house, you take your shoes off. You know, when someone has you over for dinner, you don't dictate what they make for you. No, you're the guest. You don't come in getting to make demands. Tourism with just outright actual tourists. Same thing. You don't get to go to Japan, a place you are just visiting, and start making demands like, oh, why doesn't this place have more vegan options? You don't get to go over there and start desecrating shrines. You don't get to, all for the matter of make sure you follow and subscribe. You don't get to do that. Yes, the slush fund scandals are worse and a huge problem too. I'm going in doing so, making reference to Japan's 2023-2024 slush fund scandal. But right now, I just want to say this. If you have the right to vote from 18 years old, please really think about what that right means. Political statements are tough, but I had to say this. I mean, there's nothing, of course, they're going to label this woman as a fucking far-right extremist or some bullshit when wanting her nation and her country to remain that, her nation and country, that's something the left doesn't understand. They don't have pride in anything. You know, if you have pride in your country, they look at that like it's some kind of far-right extremist ideal. It's not. And if you're not proud to be in this country or you don't like the country, then get the fuck out. You people on the left who say you're so college educated, you should have all this money, buy a one-way ticket. One-way tickets are not that expensive. I hear them all the time. It's like, oh, I fucking hate this country. It's like, well, why don't you leave? Oh, well, financially right now, one-way ticket is cheap. Pick any nice country in the world, one-way ticket. Not going to cost you a lot. But they don't. And there's a reason. Because they know full well that most countries won't deal with their bullshit. But having the idea of wanting to put your country above other people, I've said before, I have no problem helping other countries, but with our country right now and the state it's in, we need to help ourselves before you help someone else. It's like on the plane, you know, with masks when they drop. What do? You mask yourself before you mask the person next to you. Like if it's a child, you mask yourself, then you help the person next to you. We cannot help other countries if we ourselves are in a shithole. So all these leftists like, we need to give more to Ukraine. We need to give more to... We can barely feed our own people. Why do you want to give unnecessary money that we can't afford to give to other countries? Again, that mask comes down. You mask yourself before you mask someone else. We need to get our own country up and running again before we can help other people. Then we can help out all the fucking people you want. If you want to let in a gajillion fucking immigrants a day, we'll have the money to do so. But until then, we have rules, we have standards, and that goes for Japan too. They cannot just keep letting in people. They can't just keep letting in tourism and having those tourists destroying things and using up resources. So what she's saying is going to be seen as like this far-right view, but it's not. Any person, any normal person with common goddamn sense would say the same thing. It was like, we need to focus on our own country. We need to make sure that our lifestyle, our culture, our ways, it's not destroyed by foreigners, whether it be people coming into this country to live or people who are just coming to visit. We need to make sure that Japan, at the end of the day, remains Japan. But these people are so fucking stupid, you know, who are going to look at that and think that she's basically like she's some fucking Nazi. Caring for your country first is not an obscene idea. You should care for your country first. Your country being strong will then empower you to help other countries. But if you have a country where you can barely feed your own people, you're in no position to help anyone else, especially if they're, you know, not there legally or they're overstaying their visit or whatever the case is. you know, and I'm sure there are people like, oh my god, she's a Nazi. She said something I don't like. She's a Nazi. She has pride in her country and her nation. She's a nationalist. Because these people have no fucking common sense or pride about anything. Um, but good for her. You know, speaking out. But again, where I drew the line would she apologize? You don't apologize. Nothing you said was wrong. You know, wanting to maintain the integrity of Japan isn't wrong. Wanting Japan to be back on track to what it was, and that's not wrong. Wanting to preserve its culture and its ideals and the customs, that's not wrong. Don't fucking apologize. You know, because with this YouTuber, the Korean YouTuber, and then having another one like, just don't apologize ever. If you did nothing wrong, don't apologize. People are gonna dislike you a lot more for apologizing at this point than if you were to just ignore it. Because apologizing is showing you're weak. I mean, I get she's Japanese and apologizing is, you know, what they do, but just it's 2025. There's no need to apologize like that anymore. Because someone's always going to be upset about something. Like she said, oh, if, you know, it's on the right, the left is going to be mad. If it's on the left, the right's going to be mad. Just get over it. Just accept that no one's going to be happy with anything. And don't apologize. Your views are your views, and if they don't like your views, they can piss off. Anyway. But yeah, I think the whole idea of her just being worried about Japan, its culture, its lifestyle, its customs, you know, her worrying about that because of tourists, whether it be immigrants or actual tourism, her being concerned about that is a valid concern. So I fail to see the problem. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.